Welcome to the Mental Militia, uniting minds and freeing souls from the bonds of mental slavery and ruling class manipulation.
Welcome to How to Become the True Media 2022. This is a 23-week seminar hosted on Telegram every Monday night, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern from today, July 11th, all the way through Monday, December 12th. The concept is what the most important thing is. Now, of course, we're going to teach techniques and specifics, so don't become concerned, oh, this is going to be some hazy, nebulous thing. No, we will teach specifics, of course. But I'm trying to allow the students to understand, don't get ultra attached to any specifics. If you learn it at the conceptual level, you can adapt to a different operating system. You could adapt to a different type of computer. You can adapt to a different piece of software. You could adapt to a different workflow. What I favor over note-taking is very deep observation of everything that is going on the screen while I'm sharing my screen, and then attempting to mimic the techniques that I show you after class time is over on your own time during the course of the week of the other 6 days, and the rest of the hours of the day that's left for today, or wherever you happen to be in the world. The 6 days that we're off from class, that is your practice time. So don't think of this class as this seminar. Don't think of this seminar as 23 classes. Think of it as a full 6 months of learning, but you're going to have to be an autodidact. You have to be a self-directed learner. That's what autodidactism is. It means self-learning, self-directed learning. But nobody's getting graded here. Your grade will be given to you by yourself. And what it will basically be is, how much did you retain the concepts that are taught here? And how well are you going to be able to go out into the world, take these concepts, and create something that is uniquely your own, that you could put into the world to teach people natural law, to teach them objective morality, to teach them the evil of government, etc. To help them become exposed to what's truly going on in our world. That's ultimately what this whole seminar is all about. And your grade to yourself is going to be, how well prepared are you going to be when you come out of this to go and begin that work? No, I'm not expecting anybody to be a master or an expert at the end of these 6 months. But if you put the time in and you're dedicated and you don't give up and you just exercise persistence and you put time in on your own time, not just in class time, then I feel people who come out of this seminar after the 6 months are up are going to be at a position to begin creating their own media. And that's ultimately what we're trying to create here. That's the whole goal of the class. What is this seminar all about ultimately, folks? This isn't just to teach computing skills, okay? We're all here for that. We're all here to become more competent with a computer so that we can create media. And the ultimate purpose that we're working toward is ending the current human condition of slavery and rule by violence on this planet. The work is not really getting accomplished globally in an accelerated fashion. Let's be realistic. And the question that I pose to everybody in the seminar, and really to everybody in the world, is, why is that work of ending the human condition that is slavery not being accomplished? Why are we not moving toward a freer world, but a more draconian world, a more totalitarian world, a more enslaved world? There's a reason that even if the people know that we're moving in that wrong direction, in that bad and undesirable direction, it seems to keep going in that direction. And there's a reason, there's a correct answer to this question. The great work of ending human slavery is not long-term ultimately being accomplished, folks, if we're being honest with ourselves here. And here is the reason. This is the actual reason. Now, obviously, people have to learn objective morality, right? That's the real long-term reason, obviously. But we know this from, hearing me speak, from watching my seminars and videos and, presentations. I assume just about every person taking this seminar understands the moral principles that I've taught during What on Earth is Happening. But that's the beginning of it. As I said, human beings could even get the gist of what's happening here, but if they're not communicating it to other people in a wide scale way, this doesn't mean I'm going to go and talk to a family member, and then you'll kind of see almost how far you get with that approach. Many of us have. Some of us have stuck with it, and it's borne a very small amount of fruit. Some of us give up quite easily, and it bears no fruit. But what I'm talking about is not speaking to the people who happen to be geographically around you and in your life through family and acquaintances and friends. I'm talking about formalizing your information in the form of some type of media and then publishing that out into the world in modern media formats that people take in our modern world. Now, obviously the whole class is about this and learning how to use devices, learning how to use computers. And this is the underlying core problem, is that most human beings have still not understood what technology can be used for. They have not understood to this point in time in human history the inseparable role that technology has with freedom, especially literacy in technology. Because if you can't communicate your ideas and the enemy can communicate their bad ideas, who do you think is going to win in an informational war? Who do you think is going to win in a war for hearts and minds? Who do you think is going to win in a war about whether behavior that is conducted in our world is moral or not? They're going to kick our ass. The enemy is going to kick our ass. The fake media is going to kick our ass. And that's what I'm trying to level the playing field a little bit with, to get people to understand, how do you publish in the modern digital age? Most people not only don't they understand that, there's many people that are just Luddites when it comes to technology. And they're like, oh, I don't want to have to learn that. I don't want to put my time into that. What do I need that for? What do I need to learn that for? I hear this constantly from people in the freedom movement. They have zero conceptualization of just how important technology is when it comes to helping freedom to grow and an understanding of true freedom to grow in our world. If you think it's going to be done mouth to ear, you're out of your mind. If you think that that is just going to happen by just conversations in your personal life, I'd say you're a very disillusioned dreamer. A delusional dreamer is really what I would say. Not disillusioned, but delusional. So this class, this seminar is about creating technological literacy. Because if there's no technological literacy, there's no true ability to spread the concepts that help people to understand what true freedom and true morality even are. And that's the problem. Most human beings are not literate in modern communications and publishing technology. So look at it like in the past. What if people in the past didn't know how to read or write, couldn't send a letter, couldn't write things down on paper? They would be stricken in the communities that they grew up around to try to communicate with people outside of the people that they encountered in their daily life in person, which is a handful of people every day. If we want to get the ideas out en masse, then we have to learn how to publish in the modern day. And most people only know how to absorb information. They know how to be the mark, right? For those who are selling them whatever their product is. That's all they know how to do. That's literally the definition of being a consumer of information and of products. Okay? Where what I'm trying to show people how to do is how to be a person who publishes information and helps that information reach thousands, if not millions of other people. But most people aren't literate of that. Now, when most people in the world hear the words not literate, they're not literate of that. What do they think the words not literate generally means? Well, just about everybody thinks that if you say someone's not literate, that it means they don't know how to read or write, meaning they couldn't open a physical book or take a magazine or a newspaper and read the words that are printed, and they don't know how to form words with a writing implement and write it down on paper so that somebody else could read their thoughts. That's what most people think not literate means, or illiterate. Okay. And in the past, that is what illiterate or not literate meant. Today, how much of our communication is handwritten communication, or through picking up books or paper and opening it up and reading what's been written down or typed? I would say it's still a little bit, but it's not the vast majority of how information, or I wouldn't even say it's, the minority. It's a small minority of how communication is done today. The vast, overwhelming bulk of communication today is done digitally. So if you don't know how to communicate digitally, by modern terms, you're not literate. You're illiterate. And if you think social media makes you literate, you're sorely mistaken. Social media is there to sell extrapolated private data to companies that want to sell you products. You're the product. Your data is the product. That's it. They want to aggregate information and sell it to other companies. That's all social media is really there for. You're not going to educate the world through social media. I'm sorry. So moving forward, when I say not literate, what do I actually mean? And I am talking about people like this. I'm technologically illiterate. Okay? Scratching their head, putting their head in their hands when they look at a computing device, especially a real computer. Screw these fondle slabs, which is what I'm going to refer to. The black fondle slab is what the phone is, right? It's a consumer, trying to get the consumer on the hook. That's all the fondle slab is. And the tablet is that to a little bit lesser of an extent, but not much. Okay? It's not a real computing device. When I'm talking about people who are truly illiterate, I'm talking about illiterate in modern computing. If you asked people today in any environment who perhaps consider themselves to be an awake human being, they're awake, they're aware, they're not in the spell. If you ask them, well, how did you become awakened? How did you learn what you know now? What will they tell you? What will be their response? Will they tell you that they became awakened by handwritten communication? We're not in Library of Alexandria times with handwritten scrolls on papyrus, So then what will the next group of people that are the next larger minority, some people might say, okay, I read a lot of books and that helped awaken me. And don't get me wrong, folks, books are important. We're going to talk about publishing books in this seminar. I'm not knocking books here, okay? I have an extensive library and many books helped me awaken. Okay. But how many people will tell you in the modern day, I woke up from reading physical books, whether paperback or hard cover? Even if some people do tell you, yes, books were the media that the information came through for me to awaken. How many people would even know how to even begin publishing a book themselves? It's a tiny minority of people who even know where to begin that process. So most people are even still illiterate in the traditional sense that they would not know how to publish a book. If they even had a lot of data that they wanted to present themselves in the form of a book, they would not know how to do it. They wouldn't even know where to begin. But overwhelmingly, most people who are even somewhat awake are going to tell you in the modern day that they awoke from doing research on websites, watching videos, watching digital videos on different digital video platforms, or downloading videos, and listening to digital audio in the form of presentations, lectures, podcasts, etc. Overwhelmingly, I'm going to say probably in the modern day, well over 90%. That's what they're going to tell you. If you pose the question, just do it as a social experiment, right? Start asking people, what form of media did you use to awaken yourself? Did you do it through handwritten communication? Did you do it through physical books? Or did you do it through the internet? Did you do it through computers? Did you do it through videos? Did you do it through websites? Did you do it through listening to audio, whether it's streaming radio stations, whether it's, again, podcasts or lectures that were recorded? Almost everybody you encounter in the modern day, if they are an awake and aware person, and they generally know what's going on in this life on this planet, are going to tell you that they woke up through digital media. Almost everybody. And what does that tell you? How many more people could be awakened if more digital media were being produced by the right people who do have the correct answers, who do have a lot to contribute to the conversation, but don't know how to put the information out there in any large way? See, this is why we're not making strides. This is why we're not making accelerated progress, because most people sit back and go, oh, I don't know how to do that. Oh, that's too much time. Oh, that's too much effort. Oh, I don't have the resources for that. I don't want to do that. I hear this over and over again. I don't want to mess with that technology. I don't care about that. You might as well throw freedom in a trash can and close the lid and put a lock on it. That's what people are basically saying, who are Luddites like that, who are saying, I don't want anything to do with technology. Technology is not evil, ladies and gentlemen. Technology is a dual-edged sword. It is a tool that can be used for good or evil. Every technology, and again, technology is just the term, the blanket term that we use for anything other than the human body and mind that we can use to improve any aspect of quality of life for ourselves. Again, technology comes from the Greek roots, technos and logos. Technos means hand and logos means word. So it's like technology is what enables what you can create from the words of your mind, and then it allows you to bring that into physical manifestation through the hand. Literally, it is an extension of ourselves. Technos, logos, hand and word coming together, hand and mind coming together.